Alright, hello everyone, welcome to SES number 357. We are currently waiting for our two teams to come in, the Extraordinary Steel Phalanx and the Fresh Void. And we're hoping to get this first match started in a timely manner. We're going to be playing on Clash at Blackcliff, and we see our first player popping in. Beautiful. So this is the first SES where I'll be trying out the Goi CC, the Guns of Icarus caster companion made by Rareform, our very own. And really excited to try it out and see how it goes. So what you can see on screen right now is powered by Goi CC. There's a link to it down in the description of the channel. And here we go. Now most of the people are starting to come in, and we're just about ready to get this started. We can check out the brackets here real quick and see the matches we've got ahead of us today. So we'll be starting off with match 1, moving on to match 2 there, presumably, and onwards. Checking back here, we'll see we've almost got everyone. And people are already announcing their changes. Recent change to the rules, you need to announce all of your changes, of course. However, not before the match timer is started, I do believe, which it is not quite yet. We're waiting just for a few more seconds here to see if everyone's coming in or not. Alright, so with only one person missing, we're actually going to kick this event off. And there we go, the 4-minute timer is on. We are ready to get this started. Now, it seems they got most of the changes out before I even started the timer, so we've got a bit of a lull in the changing right now. 3 minutes left on the clock, and ever ticking down. Now, you'll have to forgive me if I seem a bit distracted, but I am acting as both streamer and ref currently in this event. So I got a few things that needs doing. Timer ever so slowly ticking down. Still no changes. So I think if we don't see any changes before the 2 minute on the timer, we'll start checking out the ships and see what it is that they're bringing that they're so certain about. Alright, so 2 minutes left on the timer. Still no changes, so I think we'll start checking out here a bit. We got the squid here. Bit of your typical harassment and kill squid. You've got the carronade on the front with the banshee on the side for some explosive damage and a gatling on the back. And check out the corsair here. Big carronade on the front for that popping power. Dual watchers, very standard. And 3 javelins! Might be overdoing it, but who am I to tell them how to play the game? Right then, we're getting closer to the 1 minute mark here. Still no changes, mind you. We're getting really close here. Alright. And so, checking out the Pyramidion here, it's a bit unusual actually. So we got a Banshee on the front, along with a Flamer and a Flak. So decent amount of explosive, should they want it, with the combination here of the Banshee and the Flak. Be interesting to see how that turns out. And then lastly, we're actually going to have to make another announcement. We got a change for the fish, which is the one ship that we haven't checked out yet. And we'll see if the other team wants a if they want a minute. Standard watcher fish with a Gatling mortar gun side there. Alright, so timer is down. We're asking the captains to please ready up. Most of them have already readied up here, so they're doing a great job. And there we go. We hear the thing sticking down, and we are ready to go. Clash at Blackcliff. And the clicking and ticking you heard there was just me starting off the match timer. But starting us off then, we've got the Crimson Mist, piloted by, yeah, Basic. It was the Carronade, Banshee and Gatling Squid. And then you've got the Gun to Plaid with Sakath as its captain. It's the Double Watcher, Carronade and Triple Javelin Corsair. Then we've also got Thor's Boopies, piloted by Emperor Scumbag the 9th. And it is the Pyramidion with the Gatling, the Banshee, along with a Flamer and a Flak. And then last off is the MHW Brachydios, piloted by JT. It is the Watcherfish with the Gatling and side mortar. Now, a bit of a pincer attack here on the blue team. They're a bit surrounded here, of course. It is a squid, and they seem to not really ignoring it. Oh, but the Corsair goes in! Ramming speed! Immediately breaking both hull and balloon of the fish. However, they're a bit exposed now, and they are losing their armor. Taking a bit of that damage, and we want to see that Banshee and Flag be put to use against the red team here. If they can get both of those on the Corsair, they should be able to deal a big amount of damage, along with that mortar, of course. There we go, another hull break. And they seem to be headed towards the terrain here. Bad news for them. And that's the first kill for the blue team, with the red team's squid seemingly running off now. Probably a good mood, or good move, considering what just happened. So, a very cool entrance by the Corsair. However, they left themselves a bit too exposed by just ramming straight into the fish there. Now, they are maintaining spots. Squid is unspotted, but I think blue team has a good idea about where they are right now. Oh, and we see another one of those Corsair rams there. But it seems that the Corsair did not do much except ram out its own armor there. They did, however, get the pop with the follow-up of the carronade. Those boobies not doing too great now, and that ram could have been great if they didn't miss it. But they do follow up with that nice watcher from the side. They are, however, broken. And now focus seems to be going on the squid. However, the Corsair is still a threat, Mr. Pyramidian. And down goes the Pyramidian. Now watch out on the Corsair. Didn't do too much. Took out an engine. But we see them got drift tail active, so their current speed won't be affected too much. They're still gliding around there. And fish is seemingly trying to get out of this situation now. Those boobies has spawned in again, but they are about 2 kilometers away, which will take some time covering that distance. Oof! Big ram on the fish. This Corsair seems to really be of the ram-happy sort. And with three javelins on board, I mean, who can blame them? It is a big ship, got a big weight behind it. What just going out, not really doing too much. Fish now stuck there on their pixel perma. Ooh. They just barely survived that ram coming in by getting the hole up in time. Like I said. Now shooting back on the Pyramidian, and telling you who's going to win here is no easy task because there's a lot going on here. Bit of chaos, one would call it. Pyramidian now stuck, and they might just fall, and they do! They get sat on! Now a bit of a lull in the fight again as they are trying to get this fish stuck. I mean, it's got the squid on it, and it's really hard to escape the situation. Corsair going in for another ram, it seems. And they just about make it there. Right, so 3-1 in favor of the red team here. Blue team still has first kill advantage. However, the timer is ever ticking down. And so we'll see if the blue team can take this back. Extraordinary Steel Phalanx had a bit of a rough start, but they're really proving themselves here now in the later stages of the game. And we'll see if the Fresh Void can take it back. Now, a bit of another awkward engagement, I'd say, by the Corsair. They're going in, getting their engines broken, and I don't see them getting out of this. And that's kind of how the first engagement went. Unlucky to see them fall into the same trap there. However, Squid probably will make it out again. I don't see blue team catching it. We see the Pyramidion following the Squid, making sure that they don't get any rest. But not really sure if they're going to be able to catch up. Now, we've got a spawn in from the Corsair, and they are going max speed after this Pyramidion. And they get the ram in. They do some damage. They get their watch chain, which is huge here. However, they don't have much in the way of piercing. They do have a carronade. But the Squid is coming back. So is Fish. Thor's Booby's in a real pickle here with the Squid sitting on them, with the Watcher getting as much as it did in that situation. They still only have one engine, two engines now to work with. Let's see the Corsair going hard on the Fish there, going with the ram again. Fish has no hull, no balloon. They're sitting on terrain. They are not doing great right now, and the gun to play does have a carronade looking straight at them. However, it is broken. Now, those boobies slowly recovering. However, they only have got their engines. They've got no guns to fight with. The balloon is suffering. They've got 11 stacks of fire on the hull here. When we're checking closer, we can see that those engines are actually doing well. So props to the engineers for keeping focus on the engines, which are crucial in situations like this. Big ram from Corsair coming in and just smacking down the Fish back into the water where it belongs. And here we go, another ram. They just want to finish this with a ram. Might even get a sandwich here. I don't know. Squid doesn't seem to want to get on that ramming action. And there we go. They end it with a ram. It's a beautiful job by Extraordinary Steel Phalanx. Really going all in with those ram tactics. So that's a 5-2 for the Steel Phalanx, and we'll see them moving on here in our next match. And so we'll see them going up against Chef Sedion's Potatoes or Gratin. On everyone's favorite map, Battle on the Dunes. Alright, so coming up here is the next match. Chef Sedion's Potatoes au Gratin versus Extraordinary Steel Phalanx, and we'll see. Don't know if those ramming strats with the Corsair is going to work out as well as it did on the last map. Battle of the Dunes a bit more open, a bit more known for its long range tactics. And we see the Chef Sedion's Potatoes here dropping in one by one. And we are just about to the point where we can actually start off the match here. Oh, and I've completely missed the chat here, but Steam Brain sting in the background, forward case of losers. Okay, this is hype. Yep. Thank you guys for coming in and checking it out. I worked hard on this new overlay, and I will have a template for anyone who wants to kind of do something similar. Not exactly the same thing. I wouldn't expect you to want to have my logo in the background, but I will have something available for people who are interested in setting up something similar. Alright, so we've almost got enough of the Sedion's Potatoes here. A little bit slow. Once again, the changes coming in early. I kind of appreciate that in some way, you know? We are gonna start off the timer here because I feel like we've got enough players. There we go. So 4 minutes are a go. And teams are expected to start strategizing a bit. So, looking around here a bit early, I mean, we can look at Sedion's Goldfish here. Very typical Sedion, this Goldfish, has been with him a lot, and I think we can expect him to take this. I haven't seen him fly a whole lot of other things. Very odd Pyramidion. I'd be very interested to see them take this. We'll see. Just about 3 minutes left. And just like last time, not a lot of changes. We've already seen some changes before we even started the timer from the blue team. Changing out the Corsair for a Spire this time around. We've got a change from the Peculiar Pyramidion. A bit of a shame, but was a very unconventional build in and of itself. Another change out from the Spire this time around. And another change out, changing that squid into a Pyramidion. So 1 minute left, and that means 30 seconds until these ships are locked. We'll see. It's unusual to see changes this far in, but it does happen, and that's why we have this extra minute in case it does happen. There we go, the ships are locked. And we are getting ready for our second match here. Right, and there we go. Captains have been asked to ready up, and hopefully we won't have to force their hand. Or they do look to be on the slow side. We've got 2. Three, almost. That was actually a good eye by one of the players there. We had not changed the map. There we go. Big sand. This is what we need, so... Thank you to, let's see, who was it that called me out? Yep, Basic is the hero of this match. And I'm actually just gonna force dot. There we go. So, Battle on the Dunes was about to be big trouble right there. If not for yet basic, so thank you very much. Alright, so... starting off, we got the Dragon's Rage, which we all know and love. It's the Watcher fish, piloted by Sedion, with 2 carronades and a flare gun on the back. Then you've got the Prodigy, piloted by FD Lambda. It is a triple flame, double carronade junker, which I hear he's had some luck with. Then you've got the D-Spitz, with the Pyramidian, piloted by, yep, Basic. It is a standard Otling, flame on 3, flak on 4. And Thick McClappin, piloted by Sakath. It is a Caro Spire with a Artemis and Gatling up top, along with a Gatling on the bottom. Alright then. So, it is dunes. So it's going to take a while before we see them. Who was it that used to run a stream with a live map way back when? That was Urs that did that. And I've been thinking about implementing the same things, however, a lot of work going into that. Now, this is a fast Spire, just zooming across the map, turning heads, obviously, as the red team are going like, what? Leaving a Otling behind them. This Spire does not care, they are going away! They finally turned back now. They've realized that maybe they missed the enemy team. And once again, this is kind of like bullfighting. The Spire just charging straight ahead. They're seeing red, going back and forth with these wide. They're not really got any damage in there, unfortunately. Now going straight on the junker here. However, you don't want to get stuck too close to that junker with all those carronades and flamers. Now, the Pyramidian slowly getting burnt to cinders here, and the Spire needs to do something, but currently they are looking the other way. They've been turned right, and they are headed towards the junker. Fish, however, free to do whatever they please right now, which is very dangerous. Otling finally getting some damage out. However, they are too low to get their Artemis firing, and their balloon just died. Very unfortunate. They're going to be falling onto the dunes here. Actually, both blue ships just completely out of balloon. Very hard situation to deal with. And the Prodigy once again coming in with all those flamers. And you can only imagine the engineering on the blue team right now is living hell. Now, both blue teams seems to have gone out of the slow ground grinding trap. Very good for them. And Otling is right where it wants to be right now, very high up. But they need to be careful because Thick McClappin is in a storm right now and they're not doing too great with the 2 red ships ganging up on them. And with the ship choices of the red team, there is no quick death. It's all just slow and painful. And so red has taken the first kill advantage, and the Pyramidian is zooming off to save himself. Also getting reports here that The Zooming Spy, obviously a 5D chess move. And I'm awaiting to see what trap that will spring on the red team once they get that going. Now, blue team re-engaging here. And we once again got the drifting spire just going mad in the background, and I'm loving it. But we see those fire stacks immediately adding up. We've got some good firefighters there, though. Now, Despit's losing 2 engines to the fish. Very dangerous. And the Prodigy just not giving up. And that's kind of what we've seen from this ship. It does take a beating. And right now it seems to be taking too much of a beating, because it just instantly goes down. Thick McClappin handing out the Thick McClappin and just going straight through that junker. Obviously, I've just been proven wrong here. Now, Despit's in a bit of a pickle here. No engines. Barely a balloon. But Thick McClappin is coming in. And they're just taking the full brunt of this Watcher as they're going in. They didn't get too much loss there. 1 engine, 1 gun. And they're trying to get a lockdown on this fish. There's a slippery fish that doesn't want to be caught. But look at those speeds from the Spire. Pyramidion struggling to keep up with as these 2 ships just dance around each other. Prodigy making a very slow trek across all of the map here. It's a very big map, and not a very fast ship. They just won't give up, and they've actually gotten a hull break and a balloon break on the Dragon's Rage. But they are still going strong, and kudos to the engineers on the Dragon's Rage. They've been keeping up with a lot now, and it seems like Thick McClappin might just be stuck in the fire trap there. Very dangerous, but they go out almost without any fires, and the drift tail activates. Now the fish going up against the Artling with the Spire. Escaping the Prodigy once again, using their clearly superior speed to try and leave the Prodigy out of the fight, which might as well be a brilliant move here. We can see it's very split up, and the Dragon's Rage is right now in a 2v1 with the Prodigy trying to catch up, and they've got very short range guns. But the Dragon's Rage so far have done an insane job of protecting themselves. We might see the impaling here. No, just about. Dragon's Rage going past, and will they get the watch on the engines? No, but they get the full frontal along with 1 engine on the Spire, and that's big. Now making sure they get the balloon. And now blue team isn't looking too hot here, with the Spire slowly being burnt down by both red ships once again. Despit's not being able to do much more than look right now. The balloon is a bit weak. They've got some fires on the ship. Spire once again managing to get out of that bad situation. And I think we can attribute that wholly to the zoom factor of the ship. Now, Spire going in, and Ordling is in a very good position for an Ordling right now. We'll see if they're able to do enough with the time they're given here right now. Bigger watcher on the Thing McClappin. It's going to be tough to survive this one. They just barely get the hull up in time. Balloon is still down. And that's it. 2-1 for the red team. And now Pyramidion isn't looking too hot. However, Prodigy has been taking a beating during this. They did not get that Spire for free. But we also need to remind ourselves that this all started out with the Prodigy dying and the blue team chasing the Dragon's Rage cross-map. And the Prodigy managing to catch up and lose all that health one more time before killing off that Spire. But we are in blue spawn. I think McClappin is coming in to save their ally. But there was no saving them from that. That was big ram from Stedion and the Dragon's Rage. Now we've got our Zoomy Spire staring down the two red ships. And looking up in the right corner, it seems like they're activating zoom factor right now. And the red ships have no chance of keeping up with that. So they managed to join their ally once again. Now the balloon of Thick McClappin just burning down there as the Prodigy constantly following with those flamethrowers. And that leaves the Pyramidion very exposed, very isolated from their ally for the moment. And we'll see, they don't really have the quick kill guns necessary to 100% take advantage of this, but they can severely cripple the ship before the Thick McClappin makes their way back up. However, the Spit's doing a good job of getting the necessary Artemis shots on the Prodigy, giving themselves a bit of a breather. 6 minutes on the clock, and we're looking at a 3-1. Anything could happen. And now we're on the edge of the map here. That's where we've decided that we want to have a showdown. And Prodigy goes down. And now Dragon's Rage needs to decide whether it's time to make an exit or not. And I think they do think that. Now, of course, Prodigy is on the other side of the map once again. We've got about 3.5 kilometers to travel to get to the fight. Now, Dragon's Rage using the map to their advantage very expertly here. Just stalling until their ally can get back. You get a good watch in on Thick McClappin, getting all guns. Now, there was a hull break on the Dragon's Rage, but Flax just barely landed, and so not much damage was done. Now, Spy is slowly getting grinded towards the wall there, and we'll see if they can get the Pyramidion down. Now, they've got Prodigy in a quite good grip here. We'll see if Red Team has enough to finish off this Pyramidion before the Spire makes their way back. We've got 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. It's not a lot to work with. So Spire needs to hurry up here. Because if this Pyramidion goes down, they don't got much left. And they're double broken on the ground. They're not looking too good. And there we go. Chef Sedion's Potatoes take this home. An incredibly long match with some incredibly zoomy spires. Very grand display. And so that's our second 5-2, actually. Alright, so we're going to call it in the Daedalus Legacy. And it seems like they might have just found the way over here on their own. And I just sent out the message just to find that they were already in my lobby. And so the 4-minute timer is started, and we are ready to kick this lobby off. Well, we've got some changes coming in here back and forth with just above 2 minutes left on the timer. And we just need to see, is this the same one? Yes, it is. So we'll see if this the one gets brought out for this match or not. Dragon's Rage, the same, yes. We'll see a carrot, which is Artemis and Carronade, along with a Flak and Flamer here from Beethoven's Groupies. And then Dreamland, the Crusader. It's got your pretty standard with a long range side and a short range side. Time is ticking down, and so far it seems like Lambda might just keep that Pyramidion. And I'm interested in seeing how it plays. Now, only 30 seconds left, or 20 seconds actually, until the ships are locked. We've got one last change here on the Pyramidion of FD Lambda. And so we'll see what kind of change that is. Either way, ships are locked now. We'll quickly check out this Pyramidion, which is a standard Artling with the extra Artemis on 3 instead of the Flamer, which we also see very usually. And with that, the lobby time is done. We're going to be making our way onto Derelict Deception. Alright, so starting us off is the Dragon's Rage once again, the Watcher fish piloted by Serion with a double carronade and a flare gun on the back. Then you've got Scorpion piloted by FD Lambda. It is a Artling with an extra Artemis and a flak on the back. Then we've got Beethoven's Groupies piloted by Autogon. It is a carrot, so with a carronade instead of the Gatling, flame on the back, and a flak on 3. And then you've got the Dreamland, which is the Watcher and Lumberjack. So you've got the Gatling and Hades up top, and flaks in the middle for that explosive damage. Very versatile ship, capable of both long-ranging and brawling. We see the blue team just going around the entire map along with the red team, basically circling each other, but there's some very long sight lines, and there we see the Dreamland spotting the enemy team. We've got those very long sight lines down through the entire map. Lumberjack and Hades immediately opening fire here. Red team, not really that scared. It's almost like a challenge here, just moving down along the sidelines of the Dreamland. Scorpion now out of a balloon, and for a Pyramidion that relies on its Artemis, that is very bad. And so both red ships without a balloon here, meaning that the Crusader up there is almost left untouchable by the red team. And that leaves blue with the first kill advantage, just really dominating that first engagement. They got just the engagement they wanted there with the double pops. The Pyramidion acting a bit of a tank there, going down with them, making sure they kept popped. But, I mean, look at this Crusader. It's just left completely untouched and allowed to just fire down upon you, and you can't sustain that kind of DPS. You can't out-repair that. It's a very unfortunate engagement for the red team, but I think the problem for them was very clear as well, and we'll see if they take that into account starting their next engagement here. Now they've spawned inside the derelict, with the blue team kind of splitting up and trying to get spots on them. So they do want to get long range spots. They do want to know where the enemies is before they're upon them. Now, Beethoven's Groupies being a bit caught out here by the red team. They've lost all their engines, but they are going up into the skies here, using everything in that balloon to make sure that they get the height advantage here. Now we'll see if they can make a comeback here with that height advantage. Advancement. They've got all the engines back, which is amazing. So that was a really good maneuver, allowing them to get a bit of a breather. But now the fish is in the watcher range of the Dreamland. Not really getting too much with that watcher though. One gun down. But the Beethoven's group seems to be the main target here. They've been suffering some damage. They are on fire. Quite literally. Now, bigger watch on the Scorpion. And the Gatling is coming out. Nice Artemis, though, from the Scorpion. However, that armor is going down. And the Beethoven's group has a nice position on the Dragon's Rage. The Scorpion seems like they will be going down here. We just need that little bit more of explosive. Like one more flak shot and you're done with them. Dragon's Rage once again. Not looking too great. Scorpion just so close to a hull break. Red team barely hanging on right now. There we go. Fish goes down. A Scorpion, I don't see how they're getting out of this. Sure, they've got the height advantage, but Dreamland's got some really nice upwards arc guns. They are making a run for it. And once again, we see Beethoven's group is just flying up there. Maybe a bit too high. We see Scorpion activating the drift sail. We can defeat them. They're running. Now the Dragon's Rage is spawned, and they are also spotted. The blue team knows about them. So no surprise attacks are going to come in. Scorpion makes it out. For the time being, at least. Now we'll see here. Dreamland peeking out of the windows of the derelict. The clouds are a bit in the way here. They see Scorpion. And from their point of view, it's hard to imagine where you got spotted from. Now it became a bit easier, maybe. Now, Beethoven's groupies has made their way out, and we'll see how they make this engagement if they're planning on having the Dreamland peeking out after the Pyramidion catches the attention. Ooh, and Beethoven's groupies needs to be careful now because they're leaving Scorpion right behind them. Is Dreamland coming in? Yes, they are. We'll see, because this might be good, because Dreamland now has the height advantage, and Beethoven's groupies has the full attention of both enemy ships here. They just need to pray there isn't too much attention here, because it seems to be killing them. And down they go. That's the first kill for the red team. Scorpion in very dangerous position here. They've got barely no health at all. So even if it's 2v1 here, looking at the health bars, there's a very real chance here for Dreamland to take them down. They just need to get those hull breaks. And that means keeping the Watcher and the Artemis at bay. Well, who's that? Beethoven's groupies now sneaking in from behind. And that might just be what they needed. It's looking very heavily in blue team's favor here now with the Beethoven coming in. Just looking at all that damage. Scorpion getting a good height advantage despite... the balloon is actually quite strong. But probably not for long, considering the Lumberjack coming out here. They are, however, facing the wrong way, which is a bit awkward for them. Down they go, big fireworks. Blue team takes that home. Daedalus Legacy. Congrats to them, they will be advancing to fight against the Fancyborn. Alright, so we've got the next teams in here already. High efficiency as we go down the teams here now. So Daedalus Legacy versus the Fancyborn. Alright, so there we go. Duel at Dawn, Daedalus Legacy, and Fancyborn. And actually, we're just gonna start off the match and keep it moving. Rare form toilet, hello. And there we go. Timer is a go. Right, here's hoping that Fancyborn gets their crew together before the match starts. New room, new Dimitri. It's actually the same room, it's a different angle. I used to be Sitting like over there, looking at the window over there. Clean, yeah. Very clean, thank you. I do occasionally shower, let it be heard. Now, a bunch of changes coming out here. We've got Thor's groupies, one I'm more familiar seeing. Stormbreaker, of course. Bit of a mix of damage and disables there. Solid overall ship. Oh, we don't want to leave the lobby. Yeah, of course, however much it's being mentioned in chat here right now. However much I do appreciate your patronage, during your own matches, please do not sit in the stream, even if there is a 1 minute delay. Now, red team sporting a double Corsair. Making me a bit interested here. Triple Watcher, just pure chaos out of this Corsair here. And the other one, Leon's groupies. Bit more of a mix here between disabled power and even some mines in there. Very interesting. 1 minute left and 30 seconds left until we lock down the ships. Well, we're seeing a Corsair from the blue team as well. Jupiter there by Daniel. New angle, new Dimitri. Yeah, that is very much correct. And with only 30 seconds left, the ships are now locked. And captains have been asked to ready up, and we'll see, will they comply? High quality content, thank you so much, Sithari, I really appreciate it. I put a lot of hard work into into making it what it is. A couple of nights sitting up with After Effects and Photoshop and another couple of programs trying to make this work. Now, red team, of course, being very good boys and readying up immediately. Fancyborn, however, they're being a bit rebellious. There we go. Daniel got the memo. Sundstrom's got the memo. And we are ready to move on to Duel at Dawn. And looking though at Leon's groupies by Ordagon here, it's got the triple watcher, no, double watcher and one heavy carronade. Flame on one side, carronade on one side, and then the mine on the back. Incredibly disruptive. Then you got Dino Blade by Steam Brains. It's the triple watcher, double Gatling, and one flak one. Then Jupiter, piloted by Daniel. It's a double carronade and one watcher with double Gatling action. And we're seeing some giants ram each other here. We're going to have to take a look at the ships later on, but we can assume that the Victor is an Artling. Wouldn't assume anything else. Now, Jupiter heavily, and I mean heavily disabled here on the field. Only 2 guns working and 1 engine. The Victor struggling to help them. Jupiter slowly being just grinded down here by the 2 other Corsairs. And there we go. Now, the Victor has a pretty good position on the Leon's groupies, but they're not quite managing to get that flak in time. And while we're focusing on them, we can double check to see that yes, it's an Artling with a flamer on 3 and a flak on 4. Not really that much of a surprise, to be honest. Now, they're keeping their height advantage here, which is proving quite strong. Just denying the Leon's groupies to get up at the same height as them. And as such, denying them a lot of weapons. Now, really well-timed flak there. A lot of damage just getting in. We'll see Jupiter coming in as well. And I don't see Leon's groupies surviving this for too much longer. And there we go. Down they go. Putting it at a 1-1. Now, you'd like to see me cast with clown makeup / a costume on Halloween. That's probably doable if SES happens to be on Halloween. Now, Dynablade trying to make their way out. However, they're just such a big hitbox. But it seems like they might just be getting out here. No. No. There's no way they're getting away from that Pyramidion. Well, we can see that they didn't have high hopes themselves since the ally held their spawn. We can see that the red team currently has no ships spotted on the map. So that puts the blue team in the lead, despite the very rough start with the Jupiter just getting completely rushed in the beginning. And there we go. Red team has spawned in one corner of the map here. We'll see if they can manage to get the drop on the blue team. Now, of course, there's 3 ships on this in this match right now that has like massive mass. They're just huge. The Pyramidion isn't sporting the same amount of mass, and that could make it a bit hard for them, so they could very easily get pushed around by these big boys. As a result, that's just half their perma gone out of a ram with a follow-up. Big damage coming out here. Now the Victor seemingly with a pretty weak balloon, so they don't have a lot of choice but to slowly sink down and try and move backwards here. Now, Leon's groupie is heavily disabled. And it seems like blue team is slowly taking control over this engagement here. The Victor making sure to keep the elevation above Dynablade, not allowing them to get up and get those Watchers into them. And it seems like they're managing to keep them at bay here. Yeah, now Dynablade getting a taste of their own medicine there. Just ruthless flak hits, one after another, and they're not letting up. And finally, down they go. Leaving Leon's groupies quite alone. Now, Jupiter is in no state to try and follow them. The Victor, however, that's a whole different story. And all they need is a couple of disables on those engines to be able to completely keep up with them. And even then, they've got some long-range explosive damage that they can dish out. Now, we've got a spawn in from the Dino Blade just below the Jupiter. This might be dangerous. Now, the Jupiter was left in a very rough state with the Dino Blade going after the Victor. We'll see if the Victor can make their way back in, because this is what the Artling excels at, is the backing out while sustaining some damage and then just getting those key disables from the Artling, or the Artemis, I mean. Full break on the Leon's groupies, not much in the ways of follow-up. We are getting steady gatling from the Jupiter onto the two Corsairs. Rare from getting a shout out as Super Flak Man, and we have to give it to him. He's been incredibly ready on that flak whenever there's been a hull break, and that's not always the easiest when you're running around trying to keep a bunch of components up. Now Dino Blade stands alone once again, and one more kill for the blue team and they'll take this home. A very dangerous position. Now, Leon's groupies spawning in right behind the Victor, claiming two of their engines. But can they keep up vertically is the question. Now, they've got the flamer on them. However, I see chem spray on the Victor's ship. Now, a lot of fire going all ways here, but there's one clear target, and that's Leon's groupies. Taking some clear double focus from both the blue ships here. Now, Jupiter taking a bit of a pounding as well, and they might just fall first. Now another hull break on Leon's groupies. Full flak in there. And they just won't stop shooting the Leon's groupies here. And another hull break. Will the flak come in? There it goes. But misses. It's incredibly close. And it seems like the red ships have turned their attention to the Victor. And there comes the flak. And down they go. And so the Fancyborn will take this home. In what I'd like to call a match that was a bit closer than what the score will tell you. Because we're seeing a 5-1, but I wouldn't necessarily argue that this was a 5-1 in terms of how close they were to getting beat there. Alright, and from all I can tell right now, we've got a bit of a break, guys. we have got a bit of a break on our hands as we wait for match 11 and match 13 to finish up.
Greetings.
Hello, Hellfire. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, from what I can tell, you've just entered into what I would call a bit of a break.
Wonderful. I'm glad I can support you in the break.
Yeah, because we're waiting for match. Oh no, it's so tiny on my screen. Is it 15? I've got it up on screen right now, but it's so tiny. Match 13. Which in turn is waiting on match 11. So we'll see when that's done. But until then, I encourage everyone watching to go grab a beverage, go grab a snack, because that's what I intend on doing. And we'll see you once we're closer to the actual time of the match. So, welcome back, everyone. Been a bit of a change of schedule. I will be handling, along with Hellfire, match 13 as well. So we are currently in the lobby. We can see the two teams here. The info on screen you're seeing right now is completely incorrect, but don't worry.
Okay, we're gonna start the lobby in 3, 2, 1.
Beautiful.
Oh.
There we go. Close enough.
I noticed I can't press N to start the stopwatch and press my push to talk at the same time.
Water Hazard, and here we've got, let's see here, it's looking a lot like R&D.
Aerial R&D agency.
Along with, I'd say that these are...
Steel Legio Lepidoptera.
Yeah, that's what my brain was telling me. But my mouth was not telling you. Alright.
Do you know whether we got a clarification on the overtime rule in the end?
I do not know, which I probably should, considering I am... I've been reffing today, but I had not had any overtimes. I had a couple of matches. Law, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome over other people who have been watching. I'll be taking over the match. No, so I've not had any overtimes, which is very lucky, since I do not clearly know the overtime rules actually.
Yeah, I think they definitely need to be changed. And I think we're at consensus on that, but we just ended up kind of forgetting about it. It should be sorted at some point.
Yeah, and I see you in chat that was not Daedalus Legacy. Very sorry. But the teams are correct now, and the map is correct now. And we're seeing a bit more changes as opposed to the other matches here. I've not had a lot of changes today at all. I don't know about you, Hellfire, and your matches.
A few. I haven't actually paid that much attention today to the changes. I think the heat's getting to me. I only notice things that I really care about. Like where the water bottle is.
Oh yeah. People are requesting cams here. I don't know how you feeling up to the challenge, Hellfire.
I think I'd need to cool myself in other ways if we'd want a Hellfire cam.
Put on makeup and all that.
Put on a shirt, perhaps. It's like
maybe
30,
that comes
30
first.
degrees. Yes. It's
What's
like
first
30
priority?
degrees.
Makeup or shirt?
And almost locked, yeah. It's a Carnage Fish, a Lumberjack Spire against the Carnage Fish and the Lumberjack Carnage Magnet.
Yeah, so clear focus, I think, on popping power this game.
Yeah.
We'll see a lot of pops.
Spy is an interesting ship. It'll struggle against the Magnet, purely 1v1, but at the same time, it can pressure that fish a lot easier, I think, with the Gatling Double Banshees.
Definitely. And that's the funny thing about Spires, right? At least with that setup, it's quite a long range, but it can also be a threat. If you get hull broken in front of that ship, you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I didn't quite catch everything you said because I was being harassed for being a bit too honest.
I mean, chat is very lively today, and it's great to see. I appreciate you guys, and it's nice to see so much energy in the chat. And here we are now heading into Water Hazard.
You know, it would be really funny if for one day, like we start the map and halfway through the match, we just see like rain starts coming down, and it starts damaging the ships. And then
So some form of acid rain.
Yeah, that's why it's called Water Hazard.
Is this lore? Is this canon in the lore?
No, I don't think so. Maybe we can see the buildings on the hills. Maybe the water hazard is like the water rises and it causes problems for the houses. That'd be my guess. There definitely are not any alligators in the water.
Very specific. Alright, I'm gonna start us off immediately here with the Dopamine Bandit, piloted by Tears of Fuel. Got a right side flamer, front carronade, left side carronade, and a back beacon flare gun. Then you've got the Demogorgon, piloted by Rensin. Is a magnate with a carronade side and a lumberjack side, so very heavy on the popping power. It's got flak, it's got a mortar, it's got a Gatling, and it's got a Hades, so one of each there in the terms of ranges.
We've got on team 3 Chicken Moth. It's a spy piloted by Mervyn. It's already shooting the Demogorgon. It's Lumberjack, Gatling, Double Banshee. Number 4 is Fifth Element. It's a carronade goldfish piloted by Musin with a Gatling flat side and a flamethrower on the right side.
Would you mind putting on the timer as well?
Yeah.
Heavy Gatling raining down on the Demogorgon right now. The Dopamine Bandit coming in and doing some great spread fire there between the fish and the Spire. Making sure that there's some fire just everywhere.
Yeah, it looks like the Demogorgon was able to fight back just enough. And the Spire's taking most of the damage here. Demogorgon's starting to take damage, but nothing substantial. And Fifth Element is not in a position to follow up. His balloon is damaged by that carronade. He's now looking for a pop on Dopamine. He gets the pop, they get a hull break on that fish, gets some permanent damage. And now it's a fish against the magnet here.
Yeah, I would say that was definitely a case of the Demogorgon just tanking enough for the Dopamine Bandit to come in and do enough damage to the other two ships. Oh!
Fifth Element's in a precarious position here. Can they get a Gatling working on that magnet? Can they kill it? Doesn't seem too likely now. Oh, it's
Yeah,
so close to hull break.
Keeping the head cool.
Yeah, the flags go out, the flags... Oh, one of them hits. Not quite enough.
Yeah, getting their or keeping the head cool in that situation. I mean, a very odd situation to focus on what needs to be done, but they managed to pump out so much damage despite the pressure they were under.
Yeah, it was good. It's good that they almost seized the chance to finish off the magnet. I'm not sure if they could have done it at that point, but it was definitely a good attempt.
And I mean, looking for next engagement here, Blue Team is looking quite good with the damage they got out on the Demogorgon.
Yeah, exactly. The thing with these popping matches is if you've taken appropriate ships with arcing weapons, which both sides have, it's really hard to avoid taking some damage at least. Because there's no Watcher disabled, there's not really any Artemis. So Blue's looking very favourable. Demogorgon about to break, and it goes down.
Yeah, that was an insane damage output from the Spire, the Chicken Moth.
Yeah, beautiful. It was exactly what they needed to do. Can the Bandit escape? It's looks like he's off. His side engine's slightly damaged. But they can't quite get the pop with that lumberjack. Tears a few dodging beautifully with the goldfish there, using the turn to dodge those lumberjack shots.
Very hot angle to shoot at as well, so just those hairpin turns that they're doing, really messing up the aim of the gunner.
Yeah, he's forcing the Spire pilot to turn, which just makes it a lot harder for the gunner to shoot. That's very clever piloting by Tears there. Making sure he flies over the ship. Anyway, lumberjack going out on the Spire now. He's in between the two red ships. What can the fifth element do? How long can
they seem to be focusing on the Demogorgon here.
A ram goes out. Another ram. That's so much damage onto chicken.
I mean, that was just not enough time to do anything for the fifth element there.
Yeah. Spy had to really, like, be careful, but he was still chasing after that fish. Magnet spawns in. Magnet gets those lumber shots. Fifth element not looking in good shape. Balloon's out. One engine is out. He's not going to escape here. And he goes.
Now, a 4-1 in favor of the red team here is not looking great for the blue team.
It's really quite a shame. That could have been 2-1. It could have been safe. Just a little bit of carelessness, and that's going to cost you a Spire, because the Spire is a very hard ship to keep alive.
Yeah, especially against some of these guns. I mean, a Spire versus a Hades is not fun. Oh, excuse me.
Bless you. I wonder what their plan is now. Like, are they going to play it really carefully with the Spire, or are they just going to send it in? Put loads of pressure on one ship? We'll see.
Spots out on both sides here, so they do see each other. They do have information about the whereabouts.
Vicious lumberjack shooting. Maybe he can connect here. It's ready with his charged ammo.
Pop on the fifth element.
Lumberjack not connecting onto the magnet. Fifth element is not in the best spot there against the magnet. Spire pop.
And I don't feel like the Spire has the best position either, with the fish reacting so quickly to them.
But the fifth element now is at the long range side of the magnet, and he's probably in a good position here. If you can start using that Gatling on the magnet. But will the Spire survive long enough? Gets rammed. Rammed again. But the fish is broken, and that's nice Gatling there. I'm seeing Captain Coy, the gunner, shooting the Gatling, making sure he can get those up arcs, but it's not enough to stop the ram from killing the Spire.
So that means that the aerial R&D department takes home the victory of 5-1.
And I have to say, the game could have been a lot closer than it was. It definitely felt like a competitive game. And it's kind of a shame to see it go to 5-1. It was good play from all the pilots, I'd have to say.
Yeah, we saw some really quick reactions and some situations where both crew and captain kept impressively cool head.
Yeah, I liked how Tiz was avoiding the lumberjack. I liked how Koik was getting onto that Gatling so they could use the Gatling against the fish, even though it's stuck like, sitting at the balloon. They get the hull break on the fish. The fish doesn't really want to ram you. So those sorts of things make a massive difference. Good play all around.
And this is when we now see the return of the Daedalus Legacy. For the lower bracket finals, so the winner of this one will go on to face the Fancyborn in the finals.
Yes. I see Sega Genesis 64 has requested me to say tuna. So there we are.
Tuna. Yeah. Good.
Tuna.
Modern Mullet, welcome very much. SLL fought like Cobra Tigers.
I'm not really familiar with how Cobra Tigers fight, but maybe we could watch that.
Is that a thing? I mean, maybe a Tiger Cobra? Cobra Tiger?
Cobra Tiger. Nope. Let's start the lobby.
Yeah. let's put aside our research on the Cobra Tigers.
We have changing already. Anyway, we'll go 3, 2, 1.
Beautiful. So lobby timer is a go. We can see it ticking down there.
I think what I'll actually do next time is I'll type it in the chat and then I'll do the count. I'll do the countdown as I actually start the stopwatch. I'm sure our viewers won't notice. So we have Ransom frantically changing. He's got double Banshee, Flamethrower, Gatling. Pretty annoying guns for a Corsair.
Double carronade on that triple watcher we actually saw early on as well. A very disruptive ship, if anything, if it manages to get in the middle of an engagement.
And then we have a Gatling Banshee Gatling squid, a Banshee Gatling Harpoon Banshee Pyramidian. I like that Harpoon, it's interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, it might serve its purpose in just denying the squid a lot of mobility.
Yeah, and even against the Magnate, Harpoon the Magnate, guarantee to miss some Gatling shots. How about the Corsair a bit? Make your own guns miss, turn you away from the squids, get yourself killed. The possibilities are pretty endless with a Harpoon.
Two minutes left on the timer. I mean, we haven't seen a lot of changes in the last 30 seconds, so maybe people are just happy with this. No, people are not happy with this.
Ransom wants his handy dandy lumberjack. And the Hades.
Lumberjacks are very handy dandy, to be fair, so. And so I'm assuming then it is a pretty standard double-sided magnet that we're looking at here then. However, mortar on the front. I'm quite used to the explosives being in the middle, but maybe I'm wrong.
And he's gone back to his original magnet here. And we've got 10 seconds left. We see a change at the last second. That's
yeah, so we'll see if the teams request a minute here. Because
Yeah,
that
so
was
that's-
a very late swap. And a pretty big swap as well. I'm looking over now and I see the squid gone. Replaced with a pyramidion.
Yeah, was that their tactic all along? Just sort of, maybe they were just not comfortable with what they were doing. So I'll add that minute, but I'll type it in first. Three, two, one, go.
Yeah, and as we assumed, the minute was requested. Was a bit of a jarring swap there towards the end, so...
Yep, and we see a batch of changes going out ahead here.
Yeah, now the squid is on the blue side.
Looks
Oh
like
no,
we'll
wait,
see
it was
some-
originally.
Yeah, that's right. We might see some last second swaps here. 20 seconds to go. And we have a ship lock.
And this is looking a lot like the original setup before the last second swap.
I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, you were excited about that, about the harpoon on the pyramidion, were you not? So, you got what you wished for.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. We've got lots of guns on either side. We'll see if there's a clear advantage given to either team. But I can see a lot of things happening here, and a lot of things maybe not happening here. So it'll be exciting to see what actually happens. How the pilot's going to think really carefully about how they start the fights. They're just going to rush into the canyon. Here we go.
There we go, and you start the timer immediately, of course. And I'll start us off with Beethoven's groupies. Piloted by Ortegon, it is a Gatling and Banshee pyramidion, along with a harpoon and another Banshee. Then you've got the Corsair, piloted by Steam Brains here. It's the Dynablade with a carronade on front, two Watchers, an harpoon, a Gatling, and on the back we've got the Flak. And it seems like we've paused. And so, while we're in the pause, Hellfire, do you want to do the blue team ships?
Yep, so ship 3 is the Rat, piloted by Tiers of Fuel, Gatling, Banshee side, Gatling back. It's a squid. Ship number 4 is the Demigogon. It's a Magnate, piloted by Renson, Hwacha, Gatling motor right side, the motor on the front, and Carronade, Banshee, and Flamethrower, with the Flamethrower on the front on the left-hand side.
Right then. So, just looking at the scene they've got set up here, I mean, it's looking like an imminent engagement, isn't it?
Yeah.
The two
Can you
red
tell them
ships.
to-
Yeah?
Can you tell them to go?
Tell them to go.
Okay.
Oh, they're going. You got it.
Yeah, I can't type and start the timer at the same time.
Yeah, but there we go. So immediately it spots. We can assume that they saw each other, but a pause is a pause. and a more gentlemanly community than Goyo you'd have to go looking for.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Fire going either way, but the Pyramidian's in a hard spot here, potentially, if his ally can't get up in time. Lots of fire on the hull of that squid.
Yeah, and we've got the 2 banshees of the Pyramidian, so those might be the culprits.
What just takes the carronade from the Corsair? Corsair cannot shoot back. He's being hit by mortars. It's really struggling here. He pits the wall. Meanwhile, the Pyramidian's being hit by the squid behind. Looking pretty rough for the red team. Corsair is now trying to get into that carronade side instead of the Watcher side. Just buying some time. Pyramidian's going down.
Oh! And it's just looking like blue team is dominating this first engagement here.
Yeah, definitely.
And there we go. Pyramidian gone, and Dynablade soon to follow. I'd be surprised otherwise.
Yeah. I think the key factor in this engagement for me was that Corsair got popped. Pyramidian was still up high, returning fire on the squid. And then it's kind of ripe to be focused a bit. And that eventually got the squid behind them. Magnate was close with the Watcher against the Corsair, so they got the disable on the carronades. The rest was really blue team's game. I think maybe the red Pyramidian had to retreat or join his ally's altitude. The red Corsair had to get his balloon up really quick. And maybe they'd be good to go. So blue really pushing the advantage well on that pop.
Yeah, we see them keeping this push here hard as they go into red team spawn, and they immediately spot them. We'll see if they can capitalize on that.
Magnate's still far away. It's as good as behind the pyramid. Does it get harpooned? Harpoon misses. Squid flies away.
The red team still has no idea where the Magnate is. It could be anywhere.
The carronade pops the squid. I don't think the Magnate's gonna hard engage here yet. Did you notice that cheeky harpoon trying to hit the squid?
I've had a hard time seeing the harpoons, but I can imagine, and it could be huge if you get a harpoon in an area such as this.
And again.
All the,
oh, and it connects. I don't think Corsair is in a position to follow. It's afraid of the Magnate. See, Pyramidian Magnate's not quite popped.
Squid trying to divert attention to allow the Magnate to come in without getting just shot out of the sky immediately.
Seems like the Magnate wants to take his time with it. I'm not quite sure what the blue team wants from this engagement.
I think they wanted them to turn for the squid, but the red team was kind of steadfast in keeping their attention turned towards the Magnate, which is making them really second guessing their engage here. And that might be dangerous for the squid, and we see Tar coming out! We've got Tar!
And there's an engine disable on the squid, but the Pyramidian's in a really hard spot here. Will they see the mortars go out onto him from the Magnate? Yes, we do.
Oh, and that just...
As a rebuild.
But they stopped?
We see no one on the Pyramidian hull. Goes down. The squid's taking some damage here. Corsair's going in for the run. Run connects. He loses 2 engines to low actually. He is in a rough spot.
Yeah, they're not going to get much done here, I don't think.
I think think...
And are they trying to force the spawn of the other red ship? Or are they just taking their time?
I think they were, but I also don't really think they're in a position to really force it to happen. It's hard to actually force if your enemy's rebuilding the engines and actively trying to ram the train. Even then, it's possible sometimes. There we go. Where do we think the red will spawn?
Oh, they go for the same again. I don't have to guess. But Rat is the one far away this time, and they're a bit more fast and nimble than the Demogorgon, so they're immediately in the right place at the right time.
So as the Harpoon misses the Rat from the Corsair. Corsair's taking all these shots, Magnet's not taking anything. Maybe the Pyramidine can make something happen quickly here. Could be the deciding factor.
Oh, but the mortar is on the Dynablade and they have no armor.
It looks like they're down.
Look at that! Huge damage. Never underestimate the mortar. Light Flak might be all the rage right now, but I still think mortar is a beautiful weapon.
This is an interesting game. It really looked like the blue team are just trying to make it awkward for the red team and then capitalizing on mistakes.
And now we're moving over to one of the community's favorite maps.
Is Misty Mutiny?
No, actual favorite.
Is it Pirates and Rumble?
Yes, it is.
Ah, wonderful. Is it the final? Yeah.
Now is the finals, yes, between the Fancyborn and the Aerial R&D Agency. I'll bump them up on screen here now so you can see the lobby. As soon as I've switched the map, actually, I'm gonna be courteous enough to do that. We had a match where I almost did not do this today, and that would have been a disaster. There we go. And we've got some people saying that Goy is a really polite community until you go into hashtag SCS discussion. And there might be some truth to that. We're not doing Batcave, Sithari, no, sorry.
Missing the alpha stream, I see.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel right doing that. That would just be stealing his gag at that point.
Maybe we could have our own guide where we switch the map to Paraton.
And everyone's really happy and then we switch it back.
End up on like Graveyard of Rumble. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm always ready.
Oh.
Yeah, so the big finals here. I think everyone is quite excited.
Okay, lobby's starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
You already clicked it out. Oh, and I clicked it.
I just typed it earlier. That's what I said I was doing last time. Maybe
yeah,
I
so
didn't
one time
say it
is
like
like
that.
2 seconds off, but we're fine, chat. Just keep in mind that it's Hellfire's fault and not mine.
Yeah, we're only 375, 6, 7, 57, 357 SCS is in.
Yeah, we quite haven't nailed the timer yet. Right, so let's look around at these ships here. Is that Sunstrom on an Artling with a flak on 4 and a flamer on 3? What?
Oh, but a carronade would be better on 3 because then you can pop ships. But no, said Sunstrom, a flamethrower can be used to hit ships that are below me. And that's what I really want to do before I ram them.
Sounded quite personal.
No, I actually think the flamethrower is a good thing on the ship. I'm just recalling one of thousands of conversations.
Then we've got the fish with the... I am actually a really big fan of the fish with the Gatling mortar side. I'm a huge fan of that playstyle. Because, I mean, once you get the upper hand with the fish, right, you can just finish off someone so quickly.
Yeah, unless the enemies of Light Watchers and Artemis and you're not able to stop that from causing issues, I think it's very good, especially when the enemy's just trying to pop you. If you have a Gatling mortar or Gatling flak, you don't care if they pop you if you're already shooting a ship. You're gonna kill that ship or you're gonna get damage on it. So it's very good when there's no risk of, you know, your gun getting disabled by Artemis.
Let me see Daniel changing the gun. Hopefully not the gun I liked. Oh, he did. No more Gatling mortar. Very unfortunate. Yeah, it's a Gatling flak now. Bit more versatile, people might argue.
Definitely gives you more range, which is good.
But what kind of mortar gunner are you if you can't hit the Lesmok mortar at least 5 kilometers?
At Piraten range. Yes, but then also you don't get the down arcs of the mortar, and you're not going to have your gunner up there, so you're only going to get 35 degrees downwards with the flak, I think.
See, now you're going into the numbers, and the numbers I do not keep in my head because I have important stuff to keep in there, like well, maybe it's empty, but I'm not storing that in there.
Hey, there's nothing more fun than imagining triangles in your head. I've got to think to myself, like, if I jump out of my window, if there's a fire, what angle am I going to jump out at? So I can roll when
I mean, I would walk out through the door.
But if the fire's at the door, then you're not going to exit by the door, are you?
Then I'd exit by the other door.
You only have one door. I only have one door.
Yeah, I have 2 doors, so lucky me, I guess. Won't have to jump out through the window. However, it's only a 1 meter drop, so I guess I'd be fine.
I think my guidance says something like, call the fire brigade, wait inside, hope that you don't die, something like that.
Pretty good instructions. Alright, so it seems like the lobby has passed. That went quite quick.
Yeah, I want to see maximum utility from all of these guns.
I heard the dunk, 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 but I guess someone just pulled a Halo 3 on me and pressed X in the lobby.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to use the force start here. I'll give them a couple of seconds of grace. That's the grace. Did they say pause or anything?
I did not say anything like that. But here we are. Now we're going. Piraten Rumble. With a bunch of fishies and pyramidians. What could be better? And what could make you feel more nostalgic for this game?
Spires. Mobulas. I remember in Cronus
Galleons.
League, we did hit a Mobula on Cronus League once. On this map.
Oh, we've done it loads of times. I have a bunch of old clips of me, Sundstrom, and Dark Knight, an old player, going double Gatling mobile on this map.
The game I'm talking about was actually me. I was replacing you as a gunner.
Oh.
It's interesting. Fun fact.
It seems like we've maxed out the load time there. You'll start the timer and I'll start us off with our first ship, namely the Friendfish. Piloted by Daniel, it is a carrowfish with a right side carronade, left side Gatling, and a back flak. And then you got the Victor and Artling with a flame on 3 and a flak on 4.
Yep. And number 3 is Finita La Commedia. It's a Pyramidion piloted by Tears of Fuel with a Gatling Banshee front and a Flamethrower Banshee side, with the Banshee at the back and the Banshee on the right side. And ship number 4 is the Wraith. It's Goldfish piloted by Renson. It's got a heavy carronade, Flamethrower on the right side, and Gatling Flak on the left hand side. Actually, Dementia Daniel here is running a kerosene on the Goldfish, and not even any failsafe actually. So that's going to be something.
Oh, now we've got a pause. However, we've got a bit of an engagement. And red team either not reading or not in the mood to let off, and to be fair, they have no obligation to.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, really unfortunate. If people are disconnecting, but engagement has started.
We see that flamer being used, and I mean, they're getting quite a few stacks on everything, and that
it's going to be
must
annoying.
Be giving them the upper hand.
Yeah, they've got a hull break now. Now we've got this little barrel between the fishes, but the Victor's got.
And Friendfish not looking too hot.
Yeah, kerosene and lack of failsafe is actually going to make him a bit less flexible.
However, I mean, that ram against the building there, he was just bouncing back and forth between the Victor and the building. It was quite literally between a rock and a hard place.
Rafe actually took some damage, but now he's stomping on the Friendfish. Friendfish goes down. Victor's not going to be able to get to the Rafe. There's no way. All the buildings in the way.
He's going quite fast though. Look at him go.
Yeah, and the Rafe is hide running, so he's above the Artemis arcs, which is really good. He's completely free.
Infinita La Commedia is back on the map.
And that was first kill to Red, I believe. Yep, so we pause.
Yeah, and that's always unfortunate when it happens, but we can't pause mid-engagement. That's just... We don't have the tools for it. If we had a big pause all button, then maybe, you know, if Hellfire could just press a button and they all froze mid-air, that would be cool.
Although I do think in competitive games, I'm not entirely sure if you can pause in right in the middle of an engagement. I don't know.
Probably not.
No. I imagine if we talked about it in SCS discussion, there'd be a lot of controversy. So I'm glad that we're not talking about it there, because I think there are pros and cons to both ways, you know.
So you know what to do after this chat. We go into SCS discussion and we start discussing this very civilly.
Yes.
Civilly? Is that a word?
I'm not sure what the appropriate word is here.
All civilized like?
In a civilized manner is what some people would say.
Oh, maybe. That's very, yeah. Civil was never meant to be an adverb. And red team has offered up their paws in the case of blue team's ally not returning.
That's very cute.
Is cute the word you want to use?
Yeah, I mean, it's the word that came out of my mouth.
Yep. We'll go with it. Very cute.
It reminds me of like, say you're on the playground and you've got two groups of people, and they play fighting over territories, and then one person gets knocked down or he falls down because I don't know, he's a bit clumsy. But then like, we just pause, we just stop, and you know, both sides they try and help out the guy. I think that's
because in the end we all wish each other well, don't we?
Yeah. In my head, I'm imagining these guys as a bunch of 4-year-olds.
Of course, on the side, we all want to crush each other because we want to win.
Should have typed that in one sentence.
If we look at the victor here, we can see that Mr. Ghost is standing on the wheel. Very good.
Yes, very important to build that pilot engineer rapport, because you know you don't actually get to see your fellow human beings. All you got to see is their representations, their avatars. Gods of Icarus offers a lot of utilization, I mean a lot of customization in your costume. If you look at ship number 3, you can see Tears of Fuel with his highly modified outfit. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm not questioning whether unpause is a word.
Probably is. At least in the modern sense. Let's go, fish battle!
Both popped. Gatling goes on to the... So, blue needs to reload the Gatling. Let's see what happens here.
Well, we've got the 1v1s again.
Yeah. But Finito here using the Banshees. Getting the break, and that's pretty good, nice to see. They've got advantage on the Victor, or it looks like it. Let's see if they can press it. Meanwhile, we see Friendship Fish getting bashed. It's a close fight, but the Wraith has the advantage.
Man, doesn't look like the Victor's going to get away from this. They're just getting pushed down into the ground here, and that severely limits the directions you can go on this map.
Friendfish is making good use of his side light carronade, but he's not managing to snipe out the heavy carronade with the light carronade. And now he's
down they go!
Again. Victor's dead. Wraith here, about to bash into the Friendfish. Could be chaotic, could be good for either of them. It's really bad for Wraith actually. This ram has put him in a situation he does not want to be in. But now he's below the Friendfish. Friendfish cannot follow him down. And we're in slow mode. And Friendfish is deciding.
It seems like slow mode is gone looking at the timer. Oh, big bump!
Big bump.
Followed by a big bump.
Big bump. Big bump. Big Banshee.
And this is all pointing to what we've all been waiting for, right? The grand finals. Because no one cares about the finals. We all want the grand finals.
Yeah, precisely. all the viewers want to see.
Yeah, one more match with even higher stakes. We'll see if Fancyball can take this back, or if Aerial R&D Agency is gonna just take it home and get to the Grand Finals.
We had some really interesting things going on there. And we'll see what happens in the next fight. Because I think both teams have room to improve on what they're doing. It's very competitive. Wraith banging, losing arc on the Friendfish. But the Pyramidian doesn't care, he's rushing in into both ships. This could be really dangerous from here. Victor's shooting him. And now the Wraith is using this to...
That timing! He rammed into the fish just as his armor went down and just knocked all of his health down himself.
It's very aggressive.
Incredibly aggressive. And that just cost them an entire engagement.
It's nice to see some panache from the pilots. It's nice to see that aggression. The execution was not quite there. I think maybe you've got to say, okay, this is not the time to go balls to the wall.
Maybe I'm not a shonen main character. Maybe I can't just throw them to the ground with my own willpower.
I mean, it works against the Pyramidian, but against the fish, if you do that against the fish and the Pyramidian's ready to shoot you with Gatling, you're being shot by a heavy carronade, you're being shot by a Gatling. You get hole broken as a Pyramidian in a rough spot. Really nice carronade going on to Friendfish and he's popped. Oh, but Slycross Fox getting the clutch pop air onto the Wraith.
It's nice to see the red team keeping up the pressure here.
Yep, Friendfish is in a rough spot, ramming terrain. Now he's in a good spot again.
Oh, they're both kind of in a rough spot, I'd say. There's not a lot of room, not enough for two ships to go around down there.
Now the Wraith could move forwards here, it would buy him some time. And that's exactly what he does. Very well played by Lorenzo. You see the other fight? Hadoush disabled both guns of the Pyramidian. But they're now
They just
safe.
managed to get above them there, you saw, with the rising and going forwards.
But he's got low He's got low armor. Victor had full armor. And it's just really rough for him still. Now he's going below the arc. First above, then below. Very good, very tight. And this Wraith here is now going onto the Victor. That's very good. He's escaped the Friendfish and he's focusing the Victor. Victor's fighting tenaciously. Victor's fighting so tenaciously.
Ooh!
But he dies to the rock.
That was really good stalling by the Finita La Commedia. Buying the fish enough time to come in and help.
It was exceptional. Holding those angles really tight. Stopping the enemy from shooting you by going above. Staying close to them, then going below. It's really wonderful play.
It looks like they're going to take down the Friendfish, and we're actually going to be moving on to the Grand Finals. Well, they're done with this. They just want to ram. They just want them dead. If only they knew that the Friendfish was actually at PP right now, Pixel Perma. And there we go. Blue team wins. And that means we're going on to the second match of the finals.
It's not very enjoyable being at PP, is it? It must be a very stressful experience.
PP is... I mean, being a PP is horrible. Not good for your nerves or anything.
Nope.
Okay, so Fight over Fernfeld is the last map we'll be going to.
Yeah. I have to say, in that last fight, I really commend the Wraith escaping and then his balloons repaired quickly enough that you can hydro. Really annoy the Victor and then just ram him. So he was at a slight disadvantage against the Friendfish. He manages to escape and he also manages to rise up 3/4 of the map and focus the other enemy. It's really good play. Perhaps Friendfish could have done more to stop that, I'm not sure.
Yeah, definitely a lot happening, and I think the teamwork we saw between the two R&D ships was just insane. Must have had some really good communication there to be able to pull what they did off.
So, anything to do before we begin? Looks like Renson's already in the mind state. I think we're ready to go.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything specific before it's time to kick this off. Grand finals, here we go.
Good, and time. Right, first. Time is starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
Nice. I'm just gonna go get a beverage here.
Yep.
Alright, and so here we go. Not a lot of changing, it seems like.
I reckon. They're both
You
tied.
reckon?
Both teams are tied.
I think everyone's tired. I have to admit, I'm a bit tired as well now. I've been sitting here for 2.5 hours. There's been some prime matches and I've enjoyed myself, but, you know, it drags out.
I had a really nice ramen and maybe a steamed bun.
I'm gonna get some dinner right after this. It's done.
Well, that was
My,
for lunch.
11
Yeah.
p.m. dinner.
It's not good. But yeah, I've got all that soup in me. I've drunk a lot of water.
Let's see here. The real Sputnik coming into chat here saying wrench buff chem for the balloon engineer on a fish when your balloon is getting popped.
Is that really what they have? This is interesting. No, so Akigan's now changed to what she normally does, except she doesn't have a chem spray, she has an extinguisher.
Well, Victor, of course, hasn't changed. It's a bit of a staple, that there ship. Daniel bring the same thing, as far as I can see. Oh,
He's got 2 Banshees on the left side.
oh, that's a bit of a change. A bit more versatile, almost, I'd say.
It's very ancient technology. It's just nice. Actually, I think I took the part of that idea came from Daniel watching one of his really old games in the Blenderfish. He had a left side Banshee, and the nice thing is you can shoot downwards with it. So if you're in a duel and you don't want to go down because of terrain or you don't want to go into the arc, you can use the Banshee. And then, like, I thought having another Banshee up at the top would actually be better than Gatling because you can use them to, like, fire 20 Banshee shots into the enemy. So say if you're on one ship, you can shoot that, get out of the arcs of it by popping it, and then use the double Banshee to supremely pressure the other ship and help your ally out a turn. Like, those 20 Banshee missiles are deadly. And they fire off.
Yeah, because
so
I was going to
quickly.
say, I remember being on your fish and shooting the double Banshee, so you calling it ancient technology surprised me a bit.
I think that's being a bit.
Yeah, because I was like, wait, no, you used that. I know that. I've been standing together with Fade and shooting the Banshee. Boop, 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 boop.
But I think it was one of the things when I was thinking, okay, now I come back to the game. This ship for some reason has another gun. What's the best setup for a carronade to F-ish?
There's a gun back here now.
Yeah, what do I put up there?
I think everyone's minds were racing with what do I do with this once that was introduced, right?
I don't know actually. I remember the first like people were like, "What is this? What do we do?" I think it was Krugers who. Well, we'll start
Very quick load time. So you'll start the timer. I'll look at the ship of tears of fuel here. Rat, a squid with a Gatling, a Banshee, and another Gatling. Then you've got the Demogorgon piloted by Renson. It's got a mortar Gatling and Watcher side, along with a Hades, Black, and Lumber side.
Ship number 3 is the Friendfish. It's a goldfish piloted by Dementia with a Carronade, a light Carronade on the right hand side, a double Banshee on the left hand side, yeah. And ship number 4 is the Victor piloted by Sunstrom or Nora is Artemis Gatling flag. I'll note that this time the Friendfish has Moonshine and Failsafe, so they've substituted both of those things. But they do only have Extinguisher and not Chem Spray Extinguisher.
We're not in any way implying that Sunstrom is a bit boring flying the same old ship every time, right?
I know, I'm just saying that maybe there's less point in me announcing all the guns.
Yeah.
But these are persistent pops on the squids, and maybe this is what the blue team wants.
We see some pretty good damage coming out now. Victor popped.
And is this really good for the Demogorgon? Perhaps. Victor's got the Spire that it might be able to use for cover. I'm not gonna. I honestly, Friendfish is broken and takes barely any perma. I'm gonna watch the Magnate Pyramidian fight.
Yeah, I think that's the one worth watching right now. There's a lot of space around the fishes and a lot of maneuverability still to go around there. I'm not seeing anything quick happening there.
The Demogorgon's back against that. He's not really popped the Victor. Now can they get a good hit? Yeah. Good Watcher by... Where am I? Side engine, all 4 guns going down. Can they push
now
this?
the
Can they get around? This is looking really hard for the Victor now. Banshee pointing at him, Flat pointing at him. Douche disables a Gatling. Break on the Victor. Banshees from the Squid, only 2 shots hit. Squid is popped. Friendfish is also balloon low.
Yeah, but they're not letting this pressure go, I don't think. But the Victor is...
Bumps and he breaks. Banshees go out from the Squid. Really accurate Banshees.
There we go. First kill advantage, red team. Really nice job there, putting the pressure on the Victor.
And that was a wonderful Watcher disabled by Slycross Fox. But Fish is still taking damage. Loses 1 engine, probably to Gatling, I think, and that's going to mess them up. All the other engines actually were beautifully fail-safed, but the Gatling just takes that out. We don't see Mallet lose the engine, and that's it. Hard to escape. Maybe it's possible. It's really
has spawned back, but really far away.
It's a really good fight there by the red team. Squid getting back before Magnate managing to do okay, even though the Pyramidian got close. We still saw good, really good shooting from the blue team. So we'll see. Do you think we'll see something very similar this time around?
I don't see really what they do differently. I know from watching that the Victor has a history of dealing with squids very efficiently.
That's true.
But that requires the squid to try and go for the Victor, which it doesn't really seem that interested until it's, you know, lured away the fish and is racing back.
Indeed. Because I guess he sort of knows if he gets popped and the Victor's in a good place to chase him, because the terrain's not open enough, he's going to have a hard time. Because once he's popped, that's it. Really easy for the Artemis. Well, not really easy, but perhaps really easy for Hadush to connect his Artemis. Victor moving upwards, dodging the lumber, strafing the lumber. We'll see what they do here. I think he wants the Artemis to shoot. Side engine out on the Magnate.
Yeah, he is in Artemis range while still managing to dodge quite a few of the shots. I mean, his balloon is going down consistently, and he's not going to be able to stay there forever.
But it's good play to actively dodge the lumberjack here.
Yeah, but that's the balance, right? How much do I dodge versus how much can I move the ship without having Adushi yell at me because he can't hit anything?
And fish is on the magnate here. Interesting, because that could be really dangerous for the magnate. Damages the side engines of the fish, but only slightly. You see all the engines fail-safed. Magnate's popped. Looking good for the fish here. They're using the banshees, but only a few go out. And maybe this is your fight where Victor's on the squid. The squid seems to be alright.
Yeah, they're not really giving him anything, but the Victor doesn't need much, right, to turn that fight. The squid needs quite a long time to kill off the Victor, but the Victor doesn't need much time to kill off the rat if they get the win condition.
And there's the Artemis. There you go. If you're in that region, Hadush will find your engines eventually. Not 100% accuracy, but he's gonna hit, and then you're gonna have a rough time. I'm surprised we didn't see the fish continue on the magnate. Maybe Sunstrom asked for a bit of help there. And now he's giving a bit of help on the magnate. Can this fish pressure the magnate enough? We see Renson doing his standard maneuver against the Carnate fish. Reverse turn. Makes it really difficult for them. But they don't really have the weaponry to deal with this fish.
Now we see hull break on the squid.
And yeah, squid still has one engine down. It's being rebuilt. It's up. And he is below the Victor. It's doing okay, but really, can he make anything happen here? And the Magnate's fighting really valiantly against this fish, I have to say. They don't have the weapon. They have a watch and a Gatling.
Yeah, now Squid doing the same thing as with the fish. Ditching the opponent, just going straight for the 2v1.
Really nice Hades and Lumberjack onto the fish. Banshee goes out early. He only takes 2 shots to his permit so far.
Yeah, but the Victor's yet to catch up. Now they're in Artemis range. Not yet in Gatling range though.
And here's a very trigger happy Banshee, and Pyramidian's here, straight engine disable, straight away Satadush. You're not gonna ignore me for half a second. Can the squid recover? Magnate's trying to help. Break. We see flak.
Oh!
Not quite.
No.
Again.
But to be fair, they're under a lot of pressure, so. Oh!
And he goes down.
The timing of that Artemis was a bit startling.
Really good attention by Tiz to fly out of the flak arc. But it wasn't enough at that point. He ignored the Pyramidian for... It wasn't spotted. And so he ignored it because he didn't notice it for half a second, and that was enough time for them to get the engine disable. And that's it. Fights.
I mean, like I predicted, I don't think that matchup is going to work for the red team at all. Pitching the squid against the Pyramidian, no. Because it's only a matter of time before you accidentally give, like, no matter how good you are, right? There's going to be a moment of weakness, and that's all the Pyramidian needs to completely turn the fight. Meanwhile, you need to play perfectly for like 2 minutes straight to kill a Pyramidian with it.
I have to say, I believe in Tiz to do it. He's really improved as a squid pilot in particular.
Yeah, but it's an uphill battle.
But I think what really is making this rough for the red team is this Magnate is not specialized to fight this fish, and they take a break, they take damage now. And even though they're doing okay, they're not going to win this. And that means Squid can fight the Pyrrha, but he's not going to get as much help as the Pyrrha is going to get. All this fish will eventually kill the Magnate. I feel like that's where the imbalance lies here. Again, nice Gatling onto the fish, but it just just not enough time.
Yeah, and
Pyramids hitting them.
10 minutes of the fight has already passed.
Beautiful
Well,
lumberjack
2-1.
Two lumberjack shots connecting. A pop onto the Victor. Can this be a kill? But it's a break on the beautiful double banshees. Beautiful double banshees onto the back.
The insane timing of that. They just disappeared as soon as the hull went down.
Break on the fish, but the mag.
Break on the pyramid, but the
Banshees.
fish.
The fish is coming, but the banshees do not connect, and that's not a kill. Squid manages to get away. And 2 engines really low on the squid. Could be struggling here to escape. I think that Artemis might be connecting. Victor stops turning. Artemis goes out, misses. Carronade is hitting the balloon.
Ay, ay, ay.
And this is a pop squid. I wonder if it'll be supported. Renson's moving towards it and his magnate.
Oh, ram on the squid. I don't think they're getting away from this.
Squid is not getting away from this. Renson's accepted this. He's reversing out with his magnate. Tiz is not accepting it, but there we go. And that was the first kill to red, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, because they got the engagement they wanted the first time around. That's it.
Perhaps he was buying a bit of time. Maybe he was just being hopeful. I'm not really sure. Teams must be getting tired by now.
12 minutes in to the grand finals. The grand finals, sorry.
And Victor's low on perma health, even with a bit of inaccurate Banshee. Or maybe they can use the Banshee more freely to get the breaks. It's going to be harder for the blue team. But maybe not too hard for them, if they can get the right engagement. You can see the squid hair rising, contemplating his mission. And I wonder if we'll see the red team take a step back here and rethink their strategy.
Yeah, they need to be more in control of the situation, probably. Yeah, not getting the matchups they've gotten the last 2 times.
Might be wondering what can they do here, but maybe they can disappear. Maybe they can hide one ship beneath the clouds. Doesn't really look like that's what they're trying to do, though. It's going for a standard approach, but this time it's Magnate on the Pyramidion, Squid on the fish. And it's an uphill battle for the Squid, but it's possible. Squid almost popped.
Imperial seems to be want to go for the squid here and pressure them off the fish. Because they probably want the fish on the Magnate. So.
Yep. Squid's not done enough. Magnate's positioned in a place where he just gets popped by the fish. That buys time for the Pyramidion to come in, but he's returning fire onto that fish. He's saying, no, you're not getting it.
Right now the Magnates lock themselves out kind of being able to shoot because of the mountain here.
And we see those side engine disables again onto the squid. Beautiful Artemis shots. Hull break. One flat connects. Hull break again. Onto the squid. But the Pyramidion's starting to take a bit of punishment. It's popped. He's going to be hiding in a moment. Squid's really going to struggle here. Squid's close to the ground. It'd be a miracle if he escapes.
There's a lot of open area though, away towards the thing. However, the fish is just upon them, and I don't know if the Magnates are going to be able to go help them with the Pyramidion being so close to them.
Precisely, and it looks like he's kind of relinquished his advantageous position. Pyramidians in here. The Squid has escaped. Squid is putting Gatling, actually not the best Gatling, onto the Pyramidian.
There we go, big fire upon the Magnate.
Yeah.
And I mean, just look at them. They have one gun and they just got back. No balloon.
Sun's really using the balloon control. He just hydros up away from the Squid.
Yeah, and Squid needs to get out of there now, but I don't see how they're going to do that.
We see it go.
And blue team takes it home, and that means that Fancyborn takes home this SES.
Yes, congratulations to Fancyborn.
Gonna enter in the scores here. I didn't do it for the last match. What was the score for the last match?
The score is 5-2. Oh, do you mean the one before this?
Yeah, the one before this. R&D won, so they had 5. How many points did the Fancyborn score last match?
Let me see.
Either way, I'm just gonna move on. We'll settle this. We'll settle this later on. The important thing right now is that I get to do my new celebration screen. I see we've still got a load of people here. We want to celebrate the Fancyborn, of course. So we're gonna do just that. If I can find my stuff.
Yes,
here we go. Oh, yes. Okay, very good. Yeah, you can continue now, Hellfire.
Yeah, so the score was actually 5-2 in that game too.
There's a 5-2 and then 5-2 the other way around.
Yep.
Very good. Yeah, congratulations, Fancyborn, for this victory. And thank you to everyone watching. I hope to be able to do this more often. I've gotten some really great feedback, and if you've got some other feedback or just whatever, don't be afraid to just hit me up and tell you what you think. I've been DKR, I've had Hellfire with me, and I've had a blast doing this SES. Do you have any closing statements, Hellfire?
No, I'd just like to thank you all for this wonderful time. I'd like to thank you for upping the game on your stream. It looks so good now.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, Fancyborn. Thank you for all the teams playing and participating. It's really interesting to watch them play.
Yeah, so that's it for us. Thank you so much. And I hope you all have a wonderful night. Thank you for streaming, commenting, Dimitri and Hellfire. Thank you so much for watching, Sithari. There's been great energy in the chat all evening. So this beautiful energy in the chat we have right now is why I do what I do. So yeah. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you around next time. This is when I realized that I don't have an end screen, Hellfire. I'll just go to the brackets.
Just imagine an end screen.
Yeah, imagine a great end screen now with some cool music and everything, and
Can we play Nickelback, Rockstar? It's a really good
we
song.
can't do that, DMCA, I'm sorry. What we're playing right now is Rush by Alexander Nakarada, a really great musician. He releases all of his music for free. It's insane, I don't know why he's doing it. But it's all copyright free, and he encourages people to use it. So, go check him out if you want to. Yeah, cheers!